Right, today's video is going to be like a little two-part really. I'm on the way to the bike shop to get some new tyres. I'm going to swap these old Bridgestone whatevers for some Michelin Road 6s. I've never had Road 6s before, so having done a little bit of research on the old Facebook pages, it turns out that a lot of GS riders, not all but a fair number, seem to like the Road 6s, providing you don't go off-road, which I don't. I'm not going off-road on the bloody GS, am I? What do you think I am? I don't even go to Starbucks on it. That's where you're supposed to go, off-road and Starbucks. I don't do either of them. Can't afford Starbucks. I have to go to Greg's or McDonald's, preferably McDonald's for the coffee. Anyway, but yeah, so in a minute, when I get the tyres fitted, I'm going to go out and scrub them in a little bit and see my first impressions review on Michelin Road 6s. I think the only negative that I could see from them for road riding was the fact that they're more prone to punctures. Apparently, according to my mate in the shop, you can you sort of like paint this gunky stuff on the inside of the tyre before you fit them, and if you happen to have like a little minor puncture, the gunky stuff on the inside of the tyre that you've painted will come out under the force of the pressure inside and plug the gap as like a temporary fix. So I'm going to get him to do that. But yeah, I'll let you know in a bit what I think of these tyres. But in the meantime, on the way to the shop, I was inspired to do this little bit of a chat by going out for a ride early doors. When I say early doors, I mean sort of like the end of March. So if you're a fair weather biker like a lot of us are, the chances are your last ride would have been, I don't know, October maybe, the last knockings of autumn before the bad weather sets in. So therefore, from October until mid-March, the type of thing, like it is about the 20th, 21st or whatever it is of March now, the chances are you probably haven't rode a bike between October and March. A lot of people will just get their bike out, start it up and off they go. What inspired me for the first little, it's not really a tip, it's just sort of a thing you should be aware of, that most people will be aware of, but they might need a bit of reminding, a little nudge, a little prompt to do this, is when you get your bike out of the garage that's sat there for 6 months, check the tyres. And I don't just mean walk around and check the tread and everything else. I've just done mine, hence I'm taking it to get new tyres. The tyres are legal, they're just very squared off, so I thought, yeah, it's time to change them. But also check the tyre pressures. Make sure you have a tyre gauge at home. They're relatively inexpensive, so just get yourself a little tyre pressure gauge and check your tyres. If you don't know what your tyre pressures should be, then Google is your friend, or a lot of bikes will say on the swing arm, and they tend to give you cold tyre pressures, which is quite handy because your bike's going to be cold because it's sat there for 6 months. So make sure you do that. The prompt that got me into that was the fact that I was out the other day and there must have been a group of 4, 5, 6, whatever it was. I'm saying 5. There's a group of 5 bikers that stopped off in a petrol station where I had stopped to get fuel. And 4 of the bikers were just sitting there on the bike looking bored, and the other one was putting some air in his tyres at the old fuel station. Now, he probably hasn't got a pump at home, so he would have rode his bike and thought, this don't feel quite right, I better stop off at the petrol station. So yeah, that sort of prompted me to sort of give that word of advice, a little tip. Why should you take tips from me? I hear you say, well, you're no expert. Well, I don't ever claim to be an expert. I'm just an old normal knobber that's been riding for 44, this is year 44 I think it is. So yeah, I've been riding for quite a while, and I'm still, no, I'm not even going to say I'm still alive, because that car's going to wipe me out, isn't it? But yeah, so do that. Also check your chain if you've got chain. This bike that I'm on, my GS, is shaft driven obviously, so it hasn't got a chain. But yeah, check the condition of your chain. If it's been sat there a long time, try and spin your back wheel, give the chain a little up and down, see if it's got any tight spots, see if the tension's fine on it as well, and clean it with some chain cleaner or some WD-40, get one of those little brushes, you know, it's like a toothbrush but it's got 3 sides, just like a side for the down, alert, and up. You just like that. Clean your chain up, dry it, put some chain lube on it, blah de blah blah blah, and then you're good to go. The other thing I would say as well is the state of the roads. If you haven't rode since October, over the winter the roads inevitably get worse with potholes, and where the potholes have disintegrated, it tends to make little pools of gravel everywhere. So just be aware of that. I mean, you know, you might drive your normal biking routes, you might drive them in your car maybe, so you may be aware of the pothole situation where you're likely to be riding. But yeah, just be aware that the potholes will be worse. And again, when people first go out, they tend to ring all their biker mates on their WhatsApp groups. Are we going out Saturday? It's going to be 14 degrees and it's going to be dry. Let's all go out. So a group of excited people will gather at the local fuel station or McDonald's for their first run out of the season, which is great. It's nice to be all excited and think, yes, we're back out again, another year of biking, bloody blah. But just be aware that there normally is one person in the group that's more spirited than everybody else. So that more spirited rider is going to think, you know what, I'm going to head the group and I'm going to go quite furiously down this road just to show everybody else in the group that I am top dog still, which is all great and all that if you're a capable rider, but in your group of 5 riders there's going to be 1 or 2 that are not very capable. No one's going to be exactly the same, so the people at the back are going to be pressured to keep up with you spirited riders at the front, and therefore more at risk of making an error and crashing. So yeah, take it easy out there, you know. It's a long old season. It's I mean, talking of potholes, I mean look at that one there. Could you see that on the GoPro? I've got a wide vision of view, wide angle. I've got the hyper view on at the moment, so it just exaggerates everything, but that ground over there probably looks about 50 feet away. Another good thing as well to thoroughly check it, not just the chain and everything and the tyres, is to clean it. You notice things when you're cleaning the bike, when you're on your hands and knees getting in all the nooks and crannies of your machine. You notice if there's like a nut and a bolt that's loose, or fastener that's loose, or whatever, something hanging off the bike, something that's not right. Flick your indicators on left and right as well, because there's nothing more annoying than not knowing your indicators not working. Yeah, but just like go around and clean it, and then you will notice every inch of your bike, and if there's something amiss, then it's more likely to show up. You see that warning triangle on there as well? I've got a warning light, a triangle on my bike. That's basically to say it needs a service. Service is overdue. So yeah, another thing, don't leave it. Look, see these potholes there? I mean, there's some massive ones here. It's booked in for next Tuesday at Wollaston BMW in Northampton, my local dealership. So I should go in there like, hello mate. Oh, he nodded and he's on like a Harley type thing. That's very unusual, not in etiquette. If you're booking your bike in for a service, because a lot of people book their bikes in this time of year, start of the season I'm going to get it serviced and I'm going to get it MOT'd and tax it for the 1st of April and I'm back on the road. But you and everybody else is going to be doing the same thing, so don't ring up the week before and say, can you service my bike tomorrow please? And they'll say to you, well, we're fully booked for 3 weeks. I wanted to tax it April the 1st to get out for my 6-month April until the end of September. So plan in advance. It's probably a bit late planning in advance now because, as I say, I'm recording this on the 21st of March. So by the time I've faffed around with it, and you may or may not have stumbled across it on the old YouTube, it might be too late. Anyway, I'm going to cut this bit short and I will resume when I've got the shiny new, friggin' expensive tyres on. I mean, they have. What is this with the price of everything as well? How much for a new set of tyres? Kin hell, mate, kin hell. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and new tyres on. Check these out in a second. See you in a bit. Oh, that took longer than I thought. Gassing, waffling, loads of waffling, gassing, talking rubbish and drinking tea, but eventually I got my new tyres fitted. So as you can imagine, I'm riding steady. I'm just on the way home and it's in blooming work traffic. I just dropped some bits off to somebody, doing a little errand, and currently in Dustin. Look at that clock tower. See the clock tower ahead? That's from the old what would you call it? Mental Institute, mental hospital, St Crispin's, I think that was called. Yeah. So how do the new tyres feel? I've got no blooming idea, because I've literally been riding in traffic in the town, and because they're new, I'm like get around this corner now, I'm going really slow and try not to lean it. So how are you supposed to scrub new tyres in when I didn't lean it? It's going to be one of them. But they do fit, they do feel different. Obviously the old Bridgestones were very squared off, so the tipping in bit was a bit strange. They kind of, I think it sort of like feels like it's falling in a bit more, obviously, you know, because the profile of the squared off tyre makes it feel like that. Whereas these, even riding at really slow speeds like I'm doing, thank you mate, thank you, it seems to be more progressive in its tipping in at a whopping 10-degree angle. Maximum lean at the moment. See, there's a few like twisty corners in this narrow road coming up, but you get cars coming the other way. I don't know why they make these new roads so narrow, and they've always got like sharp curbs. See that like right angle curb there, and it's always made out of some stone that looks savagely hard. Oh yeah. And then they put these speed bumps in the way. They've got money for speed bumps, and yet the pothole situation is not great. Why don't you put the speed bumps over the top of the potholes? I mean, round my way, even some of the speed bumps have got potholes in, as well as the potholes on the road. So we're just doubling down on the pothole effort around where I live. Anyway, I know where I am now. So I was on this new housing estate and I got no idea how to get out. There was a lot of left, right, round here, and God's sake, I'm not going to lean too far around here. So, so far, so good. I feel, like I say, the tipping in is slightly different in a nicer, more progressive way. And the road noise is noticeably less, even though I haven't really gone over about 40 miles an hour since I've had them on. I'm going to get on a bit of dual carriageway in a minute, but it does seem like the road noise is less. I've still got road noise at the front. It's the front. If you never rode a GS, you always get like this, almost like it's on, like if you imagine a train on a track and you've got that metal wheel on metal track sort of noise. It's almost kind of like that, or like the wheel bearings and a little bit like they need repairing or replacing and packing with grease or whatever they do with them. It just sounds a bit metallic, but apparently that's a feature of the GS. Now with these Michelins that I've just put on them, it does seem a little bit less, to be honest with you. Well, whether that's just me trying to think of positives and coming up with fictional positives, I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. Like I say, I think the only downside with these tyres is they're more prone to puncture, so I've been told. And like I said a minute ago on the video, I was going to get him to paste some of that stuff on the inside of my tyre, so it's like a glue. I'm repeating myself because I said that a few hours ago, but on the video it's going to be literally minutes ago. So if you do get a puncture, this glue stuff comes out and temporarily plugs the hole, which might get you out the doo-doo if you're miles from home. And I forgot all about that. Oh, that smells nice. What is that? Taco Bell or Popeyes or KFC or a mixture of all three. But all of a sudden I feel a little bit peckish, whereas I didn't feel remotely peckish a second ago. Now this is a bit tight, isn't it? Yeah, just get in here. Thank you. That was quite painless filtering. Right, any carnage on this roundabout? Hopefully not. No. Oh, don't lean it too far. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Yeah, the road noise is still there, but now I'm on this at doing 40 mile an hour. The road noise is still there, but it's probably slightly less, but not a lot. It's probably slightly different road noise. If it is a different road noise, it would suggest to me that the road noise is made by the tyres. But yeah. But anyway, I'm just waffling like nothing at the moment, so I'm gonna cut this video now. Get myself home before it's dark. At least it's not raining. And if you have got to the end of this not very inspiring video, then anyway, get up there, live your best life and ride safe. Until the next time, this has been, I better not say that's Mr. Flyers, isn't it? Think your own crap. This has been the Flying Yeti. Cheerio. Anyway, see you next time. Bye. Bye. Bye.